Today I'm going to show you how to upgrade the steering wheel in your BMW to the LCI model and go from this to that. But first thing you need to do is disconnect the battery, which is located in the trunk. Use something sharp to pop over the back cover. Use a 10mm wrench to undo the negative battery terminal. Disconnect it and put a towel around it to prevent it from possibly reconnecting. Next, grab yourself something long but not pointy. I use this T25, and your steering wheel has these holes. There's one on each side. What you want to do is you want to insert that tool inside and fish for a spring. You'll feel it, and the spring will release the airbag on each side. It's easier if you fish around for it and then pull the airbag. Sometimes it doesn't pop out. There we go. And the airbag comes out. Then up here, you've got this airbag plug that you press, and the cable should come out. You've got two other cables to undo. There's this one, you insert a screwdriver and simply pull. And then there's that one, you do the same. And last, you've got a T60 in there that you need to undo. You want to hold the steering wheel, prevent it from turning, put your knees against it, and start undoing it. Ah, yeah. There you go. And now, just hit the wheel a little bit, and you can simply wiggle it out of the way. And we can now move to the workbench. And this is what we're working with today. This is the old wheel. This is the new wheel. We're going to be transferring all the guts from this one to that one. But first, let's acknowledge how nice it is. It is the same diameter, except this one is flat at the bottom. The trim obviously is a little different. Obviously, it comes with the trim. The heated button, as opposed to being here, it is there. It also comes with beautiful M stitching, similar to this one. I also wanted a blue 12 o'clock mark to kind of match the car. I also wanted perforated leather on the sides. I actually ordered a non-perforated leather wheel, and check this out. I have it here with me. I am crazy because when I first got it, I said, you know what? I do have a perforated leather wheel in my Porsche, and I like it more, so I went ahead and ordered another one. I do have to point out one thing. You order these wheels in two ways. You can get it like this, bare bones, with everything removed, or you can get it pre-assembled, where I also purchased an additional vibrating motor. When I first tried moving the vibrating motor from this one to that one, I didn't read the instructions correctly, and I didn't trim this piece here, so I damaged the motor. So now this motor is not working. So I went ahead and ordered a replacement motor. I also wanted them to reassemble or pre-assemble everything, so they wired the motor here for me, whereas in this one, as you can see, there's an empty cavity. It takes a few minutes to do it if you don't make a mistake, but now I trimmed this for you. So if you're interested in buying this, you will get a complete kit. The seller will also provide you instructions, so it's no brainer. Okay, we need to start disassembling the old steering wheel, starting with the paddle shifters. Take a T20, and you see there's a screw here and a screw there that you want to undo. Then each one of these plugs, it will be sitting in a seat. You want to remove it and simply disconnect it. To disconnect it, you basically put your thumbnail here and start pulling. Remove this paddle shifter. You also want to remove the screw and keep it with this paddle shifter because you will reuse it in the new wheel. And the same thing with the other side. Keep it all together. Next, flip the wheel to its back and remove 1, 2, 3 T20 screws. Now on the other side, you have these clips that you undo, which will allow you to start removing the trim. You can help yourself with a screwdriver. Before you can pull it out, you need to disconnect the heater, which is this. Disconnect the purple, and you disconnect the buttons by flipping it here and pulling this one out. If it doesn't want to come out, get a screwdriver and get at it from the back and simply pull it out, and now your trim is out. Now we're going to move the steering wheel to the side because we have to flip the trim to its back and remove the controls. To do this job, you need a micro Torx bit set. I'm going to link in the description, but it's an absolute must. Otherwise, you'll be stuck. Simply remove 3 screws on each side. and 3 on this side. And now you can put this aside. Then we grab the new trim. By the way, check this out. Carbon fiber sticker. What's hiding under the sticker? Oh, an M button. We all know why they did that. Let's flip it upside down and let's put the buttons in. Make sure you do it the right way. This one goes here and this one goes there. So you flip it upside down and you're gonna snake the wire here at the bottom. But first, let's screw it in. And of course, the other side. Once it's all done, tuck the wires down here as best as possible. You can stick some excess under the buttons and then the rest will fit here. You've got a little groove here. The end product will look something like this. See, you've got the cable tucked in underneath. You run it, fish it all the way here, and then you put it in there. If you'd like, you can loosen up this little screw, which will give you some additional room to play, but this is how it should be placed. Back to our steering wheel now. We have to disconnect a couple of things. Next are these paddle shifters. So again, take a screwdriver, remove, or if not your screwdriver, take your fingers and just unplug this guy, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that are holding the M buttons, not paddle shifters, but M buttons. And when done, lift them up, put them aside. Then let's continue with harness removal. You've got this one that's attached to a ground. Remove this, trace it how it is wired, and essentially disconnect it from everything you see. Disconnect it from this box here. This box I believe we won't be using. And disconnect that. And you've got another grounding wire here. Let's remove this metal, I call it horn assembly. Take it off, make sure the springs are on. You can remove some of these plastics and reassemble it here. Next, you take the wiring harness and you see this is where the ground is. You're gonna use one of the screws for the M buttons. And now you can attach this M button here. And now snake the wires here and screw in the other buttons. Then with the hodgepodge of wires, take this touch-free resistor, whatever it's called, but it comes with the kit. Basically bypasses the thing so you don't have to keep your hands on the wheel when the car is self-driving. Plug it in here as such. This means we will not be reusing this module that sits on the left. You take this plastic now, and initially I thought you would wire all the cables under the plastic, but you don't want to do that because then when you're removing the airbag, again, if you're putting your screwdriver through here, you see, this is the spring that you're pressing. You will not be able to do it, or you will be, if you were to put it under the plastic, you could break the wire. So you take this piece of plastic, you stick it in here, and once it's installed, now you can start running these wires. Don't forget about this, the heating module, which you want to plug in, and it's going to sit somewhere over here. We are going to be managing the wires later once we put the cover on, but there you go. At least this one clicked in place. Let me route the rest of the wires. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a camera trick because it's really hard to explain all the wiring. Let me wire it first and I'll show you how I did it. Hard to explain what you're looking at, but I tucked all the wires here as neatly as I can. This is your steering wheel heat that will connect to the trim. I marked 2 wires which are going into the steering wheel so we don't get them confused. And now we take this wire and we plug it into the buttons as such. And then, kind of hard to show now. And then you take the heated steering wheel button and you connect it here. Marry them together until they click. And now the instructions call for gently massaging the wires in. Again, putting the trim in, and as they snap, to make sure that all the wires are out of the way. So again, I'm gonna have to do a little camera trick. Just for example, see this one, this cable needs to be here. I'm gonna do a little camera trick because it's hard to explain it on camera. You just have to really do it on your own and feel it in your hands. All right, believe it or not, once you put the cover in, it starts becoming easier because you can actually tuck the wires in. So don't kill yourself trying to tuck all the wires when this cover is off. As you start pulling this cover in, you'll realize that there's a lot of gaps there. So we've got 2 wires for the paddle shifters that are still sticking out, and we've got 2 wires for the airbags, and then this we should be able to tuck in under the airbag. Fast forward a couple of hours later, I'm always honest with you. What happened was I put everything back together and I reassembled it in the car, but when I started the car, I got a parking error message. I started scratching my head, and then I realized it's probably related to the ground that I put up here. It's a silly decision for me to put this ground here because technically this is all plastic. So I'm gonna remove this ground wire here, and I talked to my friend Jackie, and he grounded it to the paddle shifter screw. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that should fix the error. And after another round of patient cable management, I was able to tuck everything in. So the ground wire is connected there. Everything is nicely tucked in, as you can see. So there's nothing else left for us to do than to put it back in the car. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth. This clicks in. This clicks in. Clicks in. Put the screw back in. Let's double check that the airbag holes are not obstructed with anything. Plenty of clearance here, plenty of clearance there. Plug the airbag back in. And it should be as simple as click it in place. Okay. Let's go connect the battery. Will the airbag go off? Nothing exploded. Okay, it's about 10 o'clock p.m. almost. This is my first time starting this after reconnecting the battery. Moving this way in case the airbag decides to explode in my face. Okay. Fasten seatbelt. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the next day and I'm happy to report that everything works. I've been driving for the last 20 minutes or so and there are no error messages. Everything works as intended. The vibrating feature works. I feel it down here. Also, the lane keep assist or the assisted driving works flawlessly. And the best thing is, not that I'm gonna use it a lot, but you don't have to touch the steering wheel. So check this out. We're driving typically every, 10-15 seconds, you're asked to touch the steering wheel. Not in this case. You can drive all the way up to Canada without touching the steering wheel, assuming you have a straight road ahead of you. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But let's disable it.
Construction reported ahead.
Thank you, thank you. I do like how the steering wheel fits under my hand. It's a perfect fit. The only thing that I need to get used to is these plastic, or rather carbon fiber pieces. Your hand or your palm rests on them a little more than it did with the previous wheel, but that's part of the design. So no issues there. I really like having a blue 12 o'clock notch that matches, although it's not a perfect color match, but it's a match with the blue car. I really like the M stitching, and I really do enjoy and love the perforated stitching or perforated leather here, as opposed to having it be all smooth, because the perforated leather technically matches with the seats I do have to mention that every new steering wheel that I get, I treat with a special conditioner, which makes it last a little longer and it stays this nice and flat. And when it does get dirty, it's easier to clean also with the cleaner that comes with the kit. I'm gonna link in the description for you. But yeah, do yourselves a favor and treat this wheel with that conditioner, because it will remain nice and flat looking for a long time. So yeah, overall I'm super happy about how this came out. I've got to say, at first I was a little nervous. You know, I don't want to do all that retrofitting, but I'm glad I did it because, one, it looks and feels great. Two, I haven't seen any tutorials online that detail this specific install. So there you go, you're welcome. And if you are interested in getting this wheel, I'm gonna link it down in the description from where I got it from. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Merge onto South Farview Avenue, then turn right onto the New Jersey 17 North ramp.